Well, the first thing that a leader's got to do is to raise and set standards, or to set high standards, because everyone around a leader's watching and looking. And I want to challenge every leader that the lowest form of behavior you accept defines you as a leader. It's who you are. So think about that for a minute. When you're driving home at night, the person that frustrates you, the department that frustrates you, whatever you're accepting and tolerating, that's who you are. I hear at conferences and in organizations, I hear people talk all the time about, well, our average people do, performers do this, and they're bragging about how good their average is. And that's kind of that 80-20 rule, because too often 20% of the people are dragging that average up to make it look good. And I always remind leaders, the lowest form of behavior you accept, that's who you are as a leader. That's what you want to dwell on. You want to raise that standard. And it's by raising the standard that you get your average people to come up to that standard. Your better performers, they'll separate themselves naturally. And then as an organization, you get better. And unless you make those standards clear. And my first standard to teach a leader is to tell people who you want them to be, not what you want them to do. It's back to leaders help people create to-be lists so that they set a standard for the person and the people in their organization, and then share that openly so that the players, the organization, the people that work for you can hold each other accountable to those standards. That is the first step in leadership. Set, raise, and move the standards. And you have to hold people accountable, and you got to be tough-minded enough, and you got to care enough about people to not let them operate and function and act and behave below your standard. So if you're going to actually lead, you're going to have to be tough enough, strong enough, and convicted enough to set high standards and hold your people accountable to those.